breaking news, traders. NorthFlow Finance AI just flagged 5 explosive TSX stock signals. Let's dive in and uncover the potential winners. We're starting off with Eldorado Gold, a stock that's caught our attention with a very interesting signal, a moving average golden cross accompanied by a significant volume surge. This signal suggests a potential shift in the stock's trend, and we're going to dive into the details. The price of Eldorado Gold is currently sitting at $47.73. The moving average golden cross is a bullish signal that indicates the short-term trend is now above the long-term trend, which could be a sign of a new uptrend. The current price is $47.73, and the RSI is at 63.8, which puts it in neutral territory, not quite overbought yet, but certainly showing some momentum. The volume surge of 138.6% is a significant increase, indicating strong investor conviction. This surge in volume tells us that investors are taking notice of this stock and are starting to get on board. This volume change is quite unusual, and it might signal that institutional investors are starting to take a closer look at Eldorado Gold. A volume increase of this magnitude can be a sign of a significant shift in market sentiment. Recently, we saw Eldorado Gold stock take a hit, and this was largely due to some negative news that came out, which spooked investors and caused them to sell off their shares. However, with this new signal, it seems that investors are starting to regain confidence in the stock. As we move forward, viewers should watch for the stock to continue its upward trend and break through key resistance levels. A continued increase in volume will be crucial in confirming the strength of this trend. Now let's move on to our next pick. We're taking a closer look at Heliostar Metals, a stock that's caught our attention with a very interesting signal, a moving average golden cross paired with a significant volume surge. This is a technical indicator that suggests a potential shift in the stock's trend, and it's definitely worth exploring further. The stock is currently trading at $1.99. The moving average golden cross is a bullish signal that indicates the short-term trend is gaining momentum and potentially crossing over into a longer-term uptrend. With a relative strength index of 61.3, we're seeing a neutral reading, which suggests there's still room for momentum to build. The current price is $1.99, and the volume surge of 64.1% tells us that investors are starting to take notice. This increase in volume is a strong indication of investor conviction, as more and more investors are jumping into the stock. The RSI is not in overbought or oversold territory, which means we're not seeing any extreme readings that might suggest a reversal is imminent. This volume change is significant, and it's not something we typically see in this stock, so it's definitely unusual activity. It might signal that institutional investors are starting to take a closer look at Heliostar Metals. Recently, the company announced a drilling update and filed a shelf prospectus, which seems to have had a mixed reaction from investors. Despite the initial drop, the stock's technical indicators are still looking strong. Viewers should watch for a potential retest of the moving averages and a continued increase in volume to confirm this bullish signal. Key levels to watch will be the stock's ability to hold above $1.90. Now let's move on to our next pick. Welcome back to NorthFlow Finance, where we dive into the latest market trends and top stock picks. Today, we're looking at TAU.V, which just triggered a MACD bullish crossover with a significant volume surge, catching our attention. This signal suggests a potential shift in momentum for the stock. The MACD bullish crossover indicates a buying opportunity, with the stock currently trading at $3.13. The RSI is at 64.6, which puts it in neutral territory, not quite overbought or oversold. This suggests there's still room for momentum to build. The volume surge of over 316% tells us that investors are becoming more convinced about the stock's potential. This increase in volume is a strong indication of growing interest and could be a sign of things to come. This volume change is unusual and may signal that institutional investors are starting to take notice of TAU.V. The significant increase in trading activity could be a sign of a larger trend emerging. Recently, we saw a major financing announcement from a company in the same space, raising $44 million through a private placement. This influx of capital could have a ripple effect on the industry, potentially benefiting TAU.V. Viewers should watch for continued volume growth and a break above key resistance levels. A sustained move above these levels could confirm the bullish trend. Now let's move on to our next pick. We're taking a closer look at Thor Explorations, trading on the TSX Venture Exchange under the ticker THX.V, which has just triggered a very interesting signal, a MACD bullish crossover, accompanied by a significant volume surge. This is a technical indicator that suggests a potential shift in momentum for the stock. The MACD bullish crossover is a strong signal, indicating that the stock's short-term momentum is now outpacing its long-term momentum, and with the current price sitting at 111, this could be an opportune time to take a closer look. The Relative Strength Index, or RSI, is at 48.8, which puts it squarely in neutral territory, neither overbought nor oversold, suggesting that there's still room for the stock to run. The volume surge of 107.2% is also a significant indicator of investor conviction, as it shows that investors are becoming increasingly interested in the stock. This surge in volume can often be a precursor to a larger move in the stock price. The volume change we're seeing is quite unusual, and it may signal that institutional investors are starting to take notice of Thor explorations. This level of activity can be a sign that big players are getting in, which can often drive the stock price higher. Recently, Thor Explorations reported a strong financial position, which is likely contributing to the increased interest in the stock. This positive news could be a major factor in the stock's recent price movement, and it's definitely something to keep an eye on going forward. Viewers should watch for the stock to continue its upward momentum, and key levels to keep an eye on are the 115 and 120 levels. A break above these levels could signal a significant move higher for the stock. Now let's move on to our next pick. We're looking at MAI.V, a stock that's caught our attention with a promising MACD bullish crossover, paired with a significant volume surge. This signal is particularly interesting, given the current market conditions. The MACD bullish crossover indicates a potential shift in momentum, and when combined with the volume surge, it suggests that investors are taking notice. The MACD bullish crossover is a strong bullish signal, and with the stock currently trading at $5.37, it's definitely worth keeping an eye on. The RSI is sitting at 44.1, which puts it in neutral territory, suggesting that there's still room for momentum to build. The volume surge of 106.2% is a significant increase, indicating strong investor conviction. This surge in volume tells us that investors are becoming more confident in the stock's potential, which could be a sign of things to come. This unusual volume activity could be a sign of institutional interest, as large investors often drive up trading volumes when they're accumulating positions. The magnitude of this volume change is notable, and it's something that we'll be keeping a close eye on. Minera Alamos is undergoing a rebranding, which could signal a new chapter for the company, potentially attracting more investors. This name change could be seen as a positive move, and it's likely that investors are taking notice of the company's efforts to reposition itself. Viewers should watch for a potential breakout above the current price level, and a continued increase in volume. That wraps up our final pick for today. Don't forget to subscribe for daily TSX signals. Thanks for watching NorthFlow Finance. Subscribe for more, and remember, this is not financial advice. Consult a professional before making investment decisions.